Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Hump Day. My name is Casey Halpern, and I'm thrilled to be joined by my good friend, the founder of Badlands, the number one subscription New York Jets podcast, Joe Caporoso. Joe, it's great to see you on camera. I know we were just in the same room last week, but how you doing this afternoon? Just 24 hours ahead of the 2023 NFL season.
I like the once a week recording and hangout. I'm doing well. I'm excited that the season's almost here.
It's great. I don't know what's better. I think the once a week hangout is awesome. We need more of it, but excited for the season. It should be a good one. The first time in a long time that I would say yourself and myself and the Jets fan base and Badlands community are optimistic, cautiously, I will say, just because it's the Jets and we've been burned plenty of times before. So it's a different feeling. It's not like the same depressing feeling that we are used to. So that's nice.
It's a nice change of pace. I think Jet fans are rightfully as optimistic as I've seen them since week one of the 2011 season.
Yeah, I would probably agree with you. Before we get into it, what did you think of the Hard Knocks finale last night?
It was okay. I think episode four was far and away the best episode of the season. Episode 5, there's a lot of B-roll in there. It was almost like they ran out of stuff to show. It was great to see the Gibson and Brownlee meetings at the top, but the rest of the meeting was like the rest of the episode was a little like, all right, I think they're out of stuff. So we peaked in episode 4, but it was a great season overall.
Episode 4 was great. I completely agree with you. I thought last night was a little underwhelming. There was no Revis contract signing to cap off this year. So
no big finale.
No, that would have been nice if there was like an Aaron Donald trade, Mike Evans, but maybe in a few weeks from now.
Still plenty of time.
Seriously, still plenty of time. By the way, if you were looking live at the New York City Prophet satellite office, so if you see people getting up behind me, that is why. But let's get into it. Let's talk a little week one. So what I figure we'll do is we'll talk some week one matchups on Sunday before we talk Jets home opener and tomorrow night's game, and we'll talk some season long stuff as well. So I'm just pulling up my screen and we'll look at the profit exchange markets right now and just kind of talk through what we like, what we don't like, and go from there. So I guess for people that are watching this for the first time, Profit Exchange is the first peer-to-peer betting exchange in New Jersey. It is live in New Jersey, and it is not a sports book. It's an exchange where you come to bet against your peers in New Jersey instead of a house. So what this means is you're able to get much better odds, and as a result, win more or lose less with every single bet you take. If you are not a user yet, I highly encourage you to take advantage of the generous no sweat first bet up to $125 with the promo code Badlands, and we will refund you up to $125 if your first bet loses. So just looking at the games here, what is the one matchup you are looking forward to most on Sunday?
I mean, Sunday, I think I'm most looking forward to the Eagles hopefully beating up on the Patriots. That's what I'm particularly excited about. So I think Philly wins that one and wins that one comfortably. Maybe even leading to that one in a couple of survivor pools. I know the Ravens and the Commanders have been popular picks with that, but that will help me pass the time with my Sunday nerves. I also think the Sunday night one's going to be great, and that's kind of a coin flip. I'm leaning narrowly to Dallas over the Giants, but my eyes keep going towards that Eagles-Pats game, which I think I'll be watching extra closely.
That's going to be a good one. A little Tom Brady ceremony as well. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that kind of teams coming off a Super Bowl loss, they've struggled this millennium. I think they're like 4-19 against the spread since 2000. So if you are betting the Eagles, maybe just take an extra second to think about things. Don't blindly just follow that trend. I never would tell you that, but just an interesting nugget. 4-19 against the spread for Super Bowl losers in their first game. I'm curious to see how the Patriots offense is going to look this year, obviously without Matt Patricia. Bill O'Brien returns as the OC. I think it's going to take a step forward. It's hard not to. It's probably the biggest coaching upgrade in the NFL this season, truthfully. Maybe actually Jeff Saturday's Steichen might be that. But I think the Patriots will be improved. I think the AFC East, it's going to be a gauntlet. Sunday night's game should be quite the good one. A little appetizer for Monday night. You got Cowboys at Giants, and the Cowboys are at -162 right now, and the Giants are at +150 to win. Do you think the Giants could pull that off?
I think so. I mean, Dallas has had the Giants numbers a little bit, but week 1 at home, I think that game is a coin flip. It's probably a stay away for me, but the Giants are a well-coached team. I'm not necessarily sure Dallas is a well-coached team. Dallas probably has more overall talent. These division games get weird and funky, though. I think it's going to be a very close one, and I kind of have a similar vibe to it as I have with the Jets game, where I'm leaning more towards the under with the defenses taking the lead early on. If I had to pick, I think Dallas probably wins a close game, but I think it'll be a lower scoring one.
Yeah, I actually think the Giants are going to pull this out, which kind of sets up a unfavorable matchup for the Jets in week 2, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. But as you said, I think this is going to be a close game. It's going to be tight the whole way. I like the Giants with the points at +3, especially if you're getting that +105 on Profit Exchange. I think that's really good value there. So that being said, who is one underdog that you think will win outright on Sunday? I know who mine is. I'll wait to say it.
Man, that is a hell of a tough one. Where is everything sitting right now on this Niners-Steelers game? Because there's a lot of interesting chatter around. What is the latest line right now on Niners-Steelers?
So right now we got +105 on the Steelers at -102. And Steelers are +116 to win. This one intrigues me as well. I will say I have the Steelers in a teaser at +8 with the Packers on Sunday.
I definitely have an eye on that one. I think Pittsburgh's becoming a very popular pick with everybody, but I do kind of like how things are shaping up for them. And I tell you, with the Kelsey injury, am I kind of thinking maybe on Thursday the Lions have a better chance than I would have initially thought. That one is kind of interesting to me as well. But
that one's moved 2 full points or a point and a half. It's now a 4.5.
It's getting into the very interesting zone, no doubt. I want to stay fully away from that Washington Cardinals game. It's going to be ugly. So I'm keeping a close eye on that Steelers-Niners game. That's going to be a fun one on Sunday too. Is it Jags Colts or is one of the is that beautiful AFC South matchup that we're getting as well?
Yep.
Colts are be a little frisky in that one. I can see the Colts being a little frisky.
I don't disagree with you. It's just, I don't know, the rookie QB, new coach hire in week 1, I feel like might struggle out of the gate, especially with someone as inexperienced as Richardson. But I am very intrigued to see kind of that offense and what they look to do. He has his build just like reminds you of Cam Newton. I also picked him up in both fantasy leagues I'm in, so I'm hoping I get some rushing value out of him at least, or in the early going this season. But I'm intrigued to see the Colts, honestly. I think people are writing them off. I think they could be sneaky underrated in that division and make a little noise. I don't know if they're going to make some noise in week 1. I'm pretty sure they're like 2-12, like 2-12 in their last 14 season opener games. So they definitely struggle out of the gate.
They're due.
Yeah, they are due. One could say that. I think one dog I actually bet on is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I absolutely hate it, but I kind of think just the Bucs roster itself isn't bad at all. I think they have a floor that's right in the middle, and they have good weapons. And if Baker Mayfield can play some competent football against what I think is going to be a much weaker Vikings defense. I know they got Flores, but I think their secondary is atrocious. And I got the Bucs at +6, but we'll see if Baker Mayfield can be competent and kind of return to like the game manager Baker, the one that was in Cleveland in 2020 and 2021. But we'll see.
You're living dangerously, my friend. Living very dangerously.
I mean, I once bet on Baker Mayfield to win the MVP, so it's going to be hard to do worse than that. Here.
Good Lord.
All right, let's talk about the just season as a whole. some season-long stuff. Every year there's an NFL team who made the playoffs last year who won't make it this year, and a team who missed the playoffs who will make it this year. So give me one that you think won't make it this year that made it last year, and vice versa for the AFC and NFC.
I think two teams who made it last year who won't make it this year in the AFC. I'm looking at the Chargers and I'm looking at the Dolphins. Also soft circling Jacksonville, because I wouldn't be surprised if the Vrabel coach Titans found a way to win that division. Those are the three that I'm most closely watching. NFC, I don't think the Bucs are going to be going back to the playoffs after how they got in last year. Beyond that, I do think Seattle will be back. I think the Eagles will be back. I don't want to write off the Niners ever. I think the Niners will find a way to be back as well. Dallas should do enough to be a wild card team. Tampa is really the one in the NFC that jumps off the page. The Giants would be the second one that I would not be surprised if maybe they're 8-9 and they just don't quite make it, but I'd keep an eye on them. And then in terms of the newcomers, I'm of course watching our Jets as the top prospective newcomer in the AFC. Fingers crossed. I think the Steelers and Browns are going to be popular picks for that as well. The Titans would be another one that I would potentially watch, because I think kind of anyone could come out of that division. NFC, it's so wide open. I think the Falcons wouldn't surprise me if they stole the NFC South, and that would be a new playoff team. Beyond that, I could see the Vikings maybe falling out, and instead do you get a 9-8 Bears, a 9-8 Lions? Like, everyone loves the Lions. I still think that division is just filled with like 8-9 and 9-8 teams. So that's where I look for some turnover.
I like it. I kind of agree with you. I think out in the AFC will be the Chargers. I still can't get over losing Chargers money line in the wild card game. I don't think I ever will. So I think that's kind of clouding my judgment. But hey, I can't let that get past me. Can't forget. I think the Browns are going to be really good. I think they're going to make it. Obviously, I hope the Jets are going to make the playoffs. For the sake of this, I will not say they will, just because a little superstitious. But fingers crossed they will.
Fair enough.
In the NFC, I think the Bucs probably are not going to make it. I still think they're going to be like pretty middle of the pack, though. Like 8-9, they maybe could. 7-10, 8-9. Still a good roster, good defensive line, great weapons. Just kind of comes down to, obviously, Bowles and Baker Mayfield. Not a fan of either of them, but and I think the Packers are going to make the playoffs. I think they're going to be pretty solid. I think they're also going to win the NFC North, which kind of is not fun, but I would love to see the Lions just rip apart the NFC North, truthfully.
Can happen. I mean, the division's wide open this year.
I think the Lions going like 12-5 would just be awesome for football.
If they can start with that upset week 1, then there you go.
They can. Look, they were on the doorstep last year for playoffs. They kind of caught the hearts of America. So I'd love to see the Lions make the playoffs. I'd love to see the Jets make the playoffs. Both organizations deserve it. Both fan bases really deserve it. So.
Yes.
Let's talk some awards. We'll go rapid fire, okay?
Okay.
All right. MVP.
Jalen Hurts.
Defensive Player of the Year.
Micah Parsons.
Offensive Player of the Year.
Garrett Wilson.
Ooh, I like that one. 17 is the OPOY. Coach of the Year.
Oh, man. That is a tough one. I'm going to try to You've caught me off guard with this one. I'm going to buy into the Steelers hype and say Tomlin gets one, because they go 11-6 in that division and win it. In what is one of the toughest divisions in football. And he makes enough noise in the regular season where he gets it.
Yeah, I like that pick. I like all those, honestly. Speaking of Tomlin, I forgot to say this when we were talking about the Steelers, 49ers. If there's two coaches I would ever back as an underdog, it's Mike Tomlin and Mike Vrabel, and especially as a home underdog. Mike Tomlin, as a home underdog, is 15-4-3 against the spread. as coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he's won 14 of those games outright. So a little food for thought for those at home. You want to back Mike Tomlin as a dog. That guy knows how to coach. He knows how to get his team ready, and he knows how to use that extra motivation. So 2 more questions before I let you go. You know I cannot let you leave here without chatting about our beloved Jets and the Monday Night Football season opener in front of us. You gave me your 24-20 prediction last week. Are you still standing by that?
I am. Jets in the under is my week 1 marching order. That's my line. What is the exact over-under sitting at right now?
I'm going to pull it up.
I've seen Bills at like 2.5. I like the Jets money line.
The Jets money line right now are plus 128, plus 2.5, plus 100, and over under a 46. So yeah, 24-20 would fall right under that.
Jets in the under. I feel like the defense will be out ahead of the offense, and I like how the Jets match up with Buffalo.
The Jets D-line needs to set the tone on a Monday night and force your will against what I think is a mediocre Bills offensive line, one that got absolutely mollywopped in the playoffs against the Bengals, and I think they're going to be a little short-staffed on Monday. So there's no reason to think that the Jets' defensive line can't impose their will and dominate this game in the trenches.
Of course.
We got to see it.
The Jets' defensive line is better poised to take advantage of the Bills' issues on the offensive line than vice versa.
I agree. It should be interesting. What do you think the scene at MetLife is going to be?
I'm going to end up buying a ticket during the day Monday, so I hope it's an absolute 2. I think it's going to be fun. Probably 75% Jet fans, 25% Bills fan, packed to the brim, very loud. As loud as we've had a Jet game since late 2015. I can't goddamn wait. I would have said the F word, but I don't want to curse in the live stream.
It should be pretty incredible. I was talking about it before with my colleague Mike, who's sitting to my right. We're trying to look for tickets. They're pretty crazy right now, but hopefully I will be in attendance with you. I will definitely be at the tailgate, so I will enjoy that aspect, but hopefully we'll stick around for the game. All right, before we go, last but not least, give me your unbiased Super Bowl matchup and prediction.
I'm going to go Chiefs-Seahawks. Gino. I think the NFC is a mess and wide open. I think the Eagles will dominate all year, but they're due for some bad injury luck at some point, and it ends up being a funky playoff in the NFC, and Seattle sneaks through. And I'm not picking against the Chiefs until I don't see them make it.
It's really funny and really boring because I have the exact same prediction. I love the Seahawks this year. I think they're loaded, especially at wide receiver. Their secondary is also filthy. I mean, Pete Carroll's a hell of a coach still. He's still doing it at, 74 years old, just smacking that gum. He has a great program up there in the Pacific Northwest. I would love to see Jets Seahawks.
That'd be beautiful. The Jamal Adams Bowl.
The Jamal Adams Bowl, the Geno Smith Bowl. Maybe we'll bring back Bradley McDougall. Could be just – that would be something. The Elijah Barrett Tucker, Garrett Wilson Bowl, also courtesy of those Seahawks draft picks. But
Amen.
I'm looking forward to the NFL season. It should be a great weekend ahead. We're a little over 24 hours away. Chiefs or Lions tomorrow night?
I still pick the Chiefs. I think it'll be close, though. Very close. Like down to the last minute or two, but I'm still going Chiefs.
I'm with you. All right. I appreciate you doing this. This was a lot of fun. Looking forward to doing more of these in the future. Had a blast getting the chat. What do you have to plug? Where can people find you? Tell the masses.
Season preview guide live on Badlands tomorrow. www.patreon.com/BadlandsTOJ. Final breakdown of the roster, X factors, breakdown of the scheme, all our season predictions. Also brought to you by Profit Exchange. You'll see that beautiful logo right there on the front page of it. So we'll have content every day up through kickoff. So make sure you're just at patreon.com/BadlandsTOJ. There
is no better content factory than Badlands and Turn on the Jets. Unbiasedly, I'm telling you that. Every single day. We just turned our colleague Will on to you guys, by the way, who is
welcome aboard, Will.
Who is from Atlanta and has adopted the Jets as his bandwagon team, which scares me a bit, but he's been listening to you guys and he's brushing up on his Jets knowledge for Monday night.
Oh, a beautiful thing. We love to hear it.
He was thoroughly impressed with your breakdown of Tony Adams and the Jets safety position, for the record.
Bubble Wrap Adams is one of our favorites at Badlands.
That's it. Joe, this was awesome. Looking forward to doing this. I hope everyone enjoys week 1. If you haven't yet, all new Profit Exchange users can get a no sweat first bet up to $125 with the code Badlands. We'll talk soon.